All right, guys, welcome back. So we're here with Project Miata. I still don't have a project name for it. I think I do. I think what I'm gonna go with, you guys dropped a comment below. I think what I want to go with is, I think I'm gonna call it 7 Leaves, dual purpose. So if you guys have been with me for a while, you know I went like a whole year that every meet I went to, I literally had a 7 Leaves Vietnamese coffee. So I've tried to cut back a little bit, but I'm thinking Miatas need a happy name. They need, like, they're, you know, we can argue, you know, that, you know, yes, they are a serious car and everything else, but for the most part, Miatas are just, you know, they're just a happy little car with happy pop-ups, you know, and, you know, they put a big smile on your face every time you take them out and drive them. So anyways, I think I'm gonna call it 7 Leaves, Project 7 Leaves, and it'll have a dual meaning. So if you guys have been following me, so far my last 3 project cars have all been Initial D themed. So my S2000 was based off of God Arms S2000 in the series. So I had what was the license plate? 71106, I think, was the license plate. So I had the license plate on that, which was off of God Arms. It was kind of, his was a AP1, mine was AP2, but it kind of had close relation, or kind of like a modern take on it. My GTR is definitely after Initial D, later on in the series, not the early on R32, but the one later on that had Ren Hojo's GTR, and his nickname was Shinigami, which is Grim Reaper, and that's what Project R32 over here is. It's Project Shinigami. So I think I'm going to hold true with the Initial D thing for right now. And in Initial D, early on in the series, there was a red Miata that the 8.6 went up against. It was Toru's red Miata, and kind of held true to kind of my thought process. He had built engine, everything like that. But my idea is probably to maybe plate it up the same way, which was 86 596 for the plate, for the Japanese plate. But the other thing where it kind of crosses over into the Initial D thing is, you know, each one of those guys had a team that they drove with, and the team that Toru drove with was the 7-Star Leaf was the name of his group. So, you know, I love my Vietnamese coffee that's in this area. I'm not sponsored by them, although that would be pretty cool. Let's just call it 7 Leaves. Plural, not plural, we'll figure that out. But let's call it 7 Leaf, and along the line, I'll probably plate it up the same as the car in Initial D. But anyways, out of all of that, that was my big introduction, I guess, for what's going to happen today. You see I'm in the garage. I've got the car nosed in, but not too far. So the plan for today, and you guys can struggle with me, is I'm going to attempt to put the engine in today. All by myself. Why not? Let's see how it goes. I mean, it's only a Miata. But yeah, so you guys are along for the ride with me today. I'm going to get the engine in, and that'll be the first step of hopefully getting this car running and back on the road. As I showed you guys, or if you guys have missed it, I'll link you to the first one where I introduced the project. There's not much under the hood over here. So today I've got one of the 2 engines I'm going to put in today. Today the plan is to put the complete 1.6 in here, and then my goal is to get the 1.8 up on an engine stand and start looking at that too. But get the 1.6 in, see what I still need, because I'm still going to need like radiator hoses. I'm going to still need a bunch of stuff. I've got some other stuff that's in, and as I move along with the project, as I go to install the parts that come in and everything else. I'll break those down probably in a separate episode where I'll group things together the best I can. So engine will be today, trans will hopefully be shortly after that, and it'll probably be a trans and rear diff going at the same time, since in the Miata they kind of coexist with the way the mount is built and everything else. And I have a new clutch for it, so I'll show you guys that. I think we'll go back and forth and talk. I'll probably go back into the studio and show you guys the parts. We'll come out, we'll install them, we'll go over how the install went and everything else. I've been kind of hinting at some stuff on my IG, so if you're not on my IG, I'll link that below and check that out. I gave a little secret on my story about some parts that had come in already for this, and had done a little story post on that. So if you guys want to follow along, make sure and subscribe, hit that notification. We'll run along with Project Miata, which I guess is going to be called Project 7 Leaf. I don't know. I think it's cute. I think it's fitting for the Miata, so we'll go with that. And then later on, when the car's nasty and I'm running the canyons and running the track and running down Corvettes on the track, 7 Leaf will sound tough, I guess. I don't know. But we're going to get at it. I'll talk a little bit. I'll put it in fast forward, you know, because you guys don't want to watch me struggle getting this engine put on the hoist for the next hour. So I'll cut back and forth. I'll put some stuff in little high speed. I'll cut and let you know what struggles I have, if I have any, or, you know, hey, this will be in the car in 20 minutes and running. No, I'm just kidding. It's definitely not going to be. If it gets in the car in the next 20 minutes, that will be a miracle, because it's probably going to take me longer than that. But you guys, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for staying tuned. And let's have some fun with the Miata. All right. That went better than I thought it was going to. All right, let's not lose these bolts. So if you guys have ever ripped a car apart or gotten deep into a project, two things are your friends right here. Some sort of notepad, Sharpie, and Ziploc bags. So as you're getting through it and you're ripping parts off and you got a bunch of nuts and bolts and everything else, literally take the extra 2 minutes, throw it in a Ziploc bag, label that Ziploc bag exactly what it is. And then as you go back, like if it's something that's really complicated, I'll even like stack the Ziploc bags and then work it in a reverse order or something. But make sure they're labeled, because otherwise you're gonna end up with a bunch of nuts and bolts and you're gonna have to guess what goes where. All right, guys, so we're kind of up at this point. as you guys know, or I mean, maybe you don't know, but you know, when the engine's out, literally it's a whole bunch easier to just do stuff right now while it's out. But I don't have all the parts here yet. And I want to get this off the floor. I want to get it in the car. So all the little extras, all the reseal stuff, all of that stuff that needs to get done, or should get done. Even the clutch, I mean, it's hanging and everything else. It would be a lot easier if I just put it on the engine stand, or would be a lot easier if I just, I guess, tried to work on it, you know, the way it's sitting right now. But I guess I'm not gonna do things the easy way. I'm gonna drop it in the car. And then once it's in the car, I'll work on it, you know? So even if I have to put it up on jack stands, even if I have to put a creeper underneath it and just kind of roll underneath the car and do it that way, that's what I'm gonna do. So I know in the comments, I'll probably get a bunch of them. Oh man, you should have changed this. You should have changed this. You should have changed this. You had the opportunity while it was up to do this. I know, but I'm either just hard-headed, or I don't know. I like doing stuff the hard way. So we're gonna get it dropped in. I do need to swap out engine mounts because there's only half of it there. So I'm gonna swap out engine mounts. I'm gonna get a set of engine mounts put in so I can actually drop it in the car and secure it. And yeah, so wish me luck. I'm gonna spin this thing all the way around. Hopefully it doesn't tip over. And we'll see how it goes. All right guys, so I just pulled the AC compressor off real quick because there's still one in the car. So thanks for whoever pulled it out last time, because they actually didn't disconnect it. I highly doubt the AC is still charged at this point, but I'll check it. Maybe I'll have AC and won't have to put the won't just have to put the top down. All right, so as you can see, it's in. I just got the motor mount secure. The one on the driver's side over here, I found if I loosened it from the block itself, it was easier to get in. So then I secured it to the subframe, and then after I did that, then I tightened it back up on the block. So just a little something I found that was easier online. A lot of people just said that they would put the motor mounts in first, like to the subframe, and then attach it to the engine afterwards. I didn't find I had to do that. It just, I ended up loosening up this side just a little bit. For you guys that are paying attention, the engine is definitely leaning forward, but that's because I don't have the trans in, I don't have any of the other mounts in. So the engine is definitely gonna be like tilted forward at the moment, which is fine for now. I'm not really doing much. I'm gonna pull this out of the way. I'm gonna get the other engine up on an engine stand, and I've got a radiator. I've got a radiator because I'm missing one. I've got a radiator and some fans. So I'll probably pull those out and take a look at them. And yeah. So the nuts I was missing for the motor mount, I actually ran up to McRib 47. One with the beard, guy's always with me at all the meets and everything else. I ran up to his place, and he literally like had a gigantic, like, let me come over here and show you. He had a gigantic bucket of just bolts, which, I mean, hey, what are friends for, you know? And he's like, yeah, just dig through it, you know, dig through all my nuts and, you know, find the nut that you're looking for. So that's what I did, which was cool. So then I actually got the nuts that I was looking for and the washers that I wanted to mount it. So that helped a lot. Thank you very much, sir. And I'm gonna break out the radiator and the fans I have. I might just do a quick like dry mount, you know, not like a permanent, but just like a quick in and out, and figure out if they fit and everything else, because I didn't get OEM. Let me pull them out. Let me get this engine hoist out of the way, and let me show you what radiator and fans I'm gonna throw in it. All right, guys, now that I made a little bit of room, radiator fans. So I was missing both of those when I got the car. As we go through the project, it's gonna be a matter of what makes the most sense budget-wise. I do want to do the Miata on the budget side of things, but I also want to take it to the canyons. I also want to take it to the track. So there's going to be certain parts that I'll put on at different times that are more performance related or more expensive because they're performance related. So in this case, I spent a little extra on the radiator and the fans. I didn't really, I didn't see a reason to do OEM for both, spend the OEM money on it, but then later on need to upgrade. So why not just upgrade right from the get? So I got these two. We'll see how they fit. I'll probably do a dry run, fit them in, and have to pull them back out because I still have stuff I need to do to the engine. But that'll also give me my routes for like my upper or lower radiator hose, stuff like that. And I want to see what kind of room I have. So these two, we're gonna run through that real quick, show you that, and then I'll probably show you the 1/8 block that I have at a separate time when I have a little bit more time to get it up on the engine stand and like really spend some more time on it, and get a good look at it. So let's work through these. Let's see if I can get that done tonight. You can see we started when it was light out. It's dark out now, but isn't that how it goes when you're doing a project car? You know, 30 minutes to do whatever, and it takes you 6 hours. So we're gonna get at it, and let me know what you guys think. right, so this fit in really well. It's just the 2 bolts up here. I have to double check underneath and see if it has any mounts. And then let's see how this does. Gonna be the shiniest piece inside the engine bay. I mean, as I expected, they're both quality pieces, so they're definitely gonna fit well. So I have my connections, which, along with everything else I have in here, I have to find what connections to what harness and everything else I'll be able to use. Some of it is gonna be intuitive, hopefully. Like, oh man, I thought I had, oh, I did. All right, so that one goes to that one. I mean, I can always recommend a good wiring diagram. So these are mounted good here. I still need to mount the lower ones, but that should be fine. I just wanted to make sure it was protected and it wasn't like hanging down. So I'm gonna have to figure out my hoses and then my reservoir out, but otherwise, I mean, that actually fit in there really well. I'm pleasantly surprised about that. So cool. That's another thing down. Wow, I didn't think it was going to be that easy. That was easier than dropping the engine in. So, you guys, let me know what you think about this. If you guys have experience with the Skunk 2, if you have experience with the Mishimoto fans, let me know what you guys think. I will probably, actually looks like I have enough room that even if I need to pull it out as one unit, I can. So I'll probably pull it out and put the seal on it and then just tighten it down, because everything else looks like I have enough room. All right, cool. Alright, so let me show you guys. Let me get you off of this. Let me get you off of this, and let me show you guys what I'm working with here. Maybe you guys already know my mistake, but I've got this gap, so I'm gonna have to fix things. Alright guys, so let me show you what I'm talking about. So like, it's hard to see and it almost looks like it seals, but it doesn't. And then on the sides are the same way. Look, I've got this gap right here, and you can actually see in between. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this seal and turn it sideways this way and see if I can gap in between here and here to make my seal. To see, even if I'm all the way here, this little gap right here, like you can see in between it. So I don't really like the way it is. I'm thinking on this top and bottom side, I think I'm actually gonna put the seal up against the radiator. And then on this side, I think I'm gonna try and span this gap right here. So let me do that real quick. Then we'll go back and we'll see if it looks like things fit better. Maybe I can just put it right here. See if you guys can see that. Maybe I can just put it right here in between it and then kind of squish it. Because what we're looking to do is we're looking to seal in between the fans and the radiator to get the maximum amount of airflow that we can. Alright guys, so let me show you what I did. So, you know, we had just discussed how we had the gap because it was spaced the other way. So what I did is I took the little gasketing material here, the little foam, and I attached it to the radiator and not the fan shroud. So now you can see like there's practically no gap all the way down the side because I put it on this edge, and I did the same thing on the bottom side. Now, on the sides, there was too much gap. So it wouldn't have worked if I had just, you know, put it on the radiator side because there wouldn't have been enough. Maybe if I had doubled it, maybe if I had doubled, or maybe if I had a thicker piece of foam, I could have done it. But what I did is I laid this direction instead of flat, and I mean, it's not as pretty, but you're not gonna see it inside. But I basically made the seal because the width of the foam was about the same size as the gap in between the two. So right there, you can see it's there. I trailed a little extra on the ends here and here to help kind of seal at the corners, and did the same thing on the other side. And it should give me practically a solid seal, which is pretty cool. It came out better than I thought it would. So I'm gonna throw that in. It was easy enough to get in and get back out. So I'm gonna take that in. I'll throw it in place, and hey, that will, as long as these little connectors hook up and I don't have any issues with the fans turning on, I still have a good bit until I get to that point, but we're one step closer for this car running. All right, guys, so that's going to be it for this episode. What'd you guys think? Drop those comments below. Let me know what you thought. Got the engine in today, mounted the radiator and the fan shroud. We threw in a Skunk 2 radiator and a Mishimoto fan shroud, got that seal all nice in between them. Got the engine in on some new motor mounts. So not bad for day one. The next, so let's see, what's next? I think next is, while I wait for some other little things like the radiator hoses and stuff like that, I'm going to start working on the trans, I think. I think that's probably the next big thing. I'll show you guys, I got a new clutch for it. So we're gonna throw a clutch in it, gonna throw the radiator up in it, or the transmission in it. Did I say transmission? I meant to say transmission if I said radiator. So the next big thing will be throw the transmission in it. Got a new clutch for it. So we're gonna put the clutch in, we're gonna put the transmission in. At the same time, if you guys aren't familiar, it's got, the Miata has this weird like ladder support piece that goes in between the transmission and the rear diff, and that also is what locks in the rear diff. So at the same time, I'll throw the stock diff back in and connect that. So then at that point, I've got the engine in, I've got the transmission in, and we've got the rear diff in, and hopefully that's all locked down. I'll see if I'm missing anything along the way. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start taking inventory of the harness, see what's here, what's not here, what plugs, what doesn't plug. And then, I don't know, I'm getting really close. So I was happy with where I got today. You guys let me know what you thought. I mean, you saw we started when it was daylight out, it's dark now. You know, I had to take a break, have lunch, all that kind of stuff. But overall, it went really well. I'm gonna throw the hood back on it. I'm gonna move it out of the garage so my wife can get her car back in here and I don't get in trouble. And we'll come back for day 2 of project, what did we call it? We called it Project 7 Leaf. Yeah, and now I want a coffee, even though it's late. So, all right, I'll see you guys at the next one. Thanks for hanging out to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm really looking forward to working through this project, and I'm really looking forward to getting it out on the track. I miss being on the track. So, all right, I'll see you guys at the next one. We'll see how close we can get it to running. Maybe get it more complete on day 2 of working on this. And yeah, all right, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks a lot.